That means I could run my Starlink on that battery for 53 hours without adding additional capacity. The other thing about lithium batteries is the voltages are generally higher. So the resting voltage is higher, the charging voltages are higher. Let's talk about the big battery in the room. This is from Ecoorthy, 280 amp hours. How does that compare? Well, lithium batteries go anywhere from, very small ones that fly in your remote control helicopters to very, very large ones such as this that may run your data center, they may run servers. Server backup batteries are really popular right now in the lithium size. 280 is pretty big. It's the equivalent to almost 3 100 amp hour batteries. I was running 2 100 amp hour batteries in my boat. Now, what is an amp hour? It's really funny because it's just a math problem. If you take the 12.8, that's volts, you times it by the number of amps, that is the total available watts that you'll have to spend. So watt is a unit of energy, and it makes it really easy to figure out the total capacity. You have 1280 watts available. So let's say we're gonna run a mini fridge. That's a real common load. We have a little fridge in our boat. That is going to use 50 watts per hour. So if I divide the math by 50, I can run that fridge for 25 hours on a 100 amp hour lithium battery. So that's how the math works, is you can take the 2080 that you were gonna get out of a standard 100 amp hour battery, you can divide the watt load that you have. We used the Starlink the other day, it was 24 watts. That means I could run my Starlink on that battery for 53 hours without adding additional capacity. So why is a lithium better than a lead acid or golf cart batteries you might have heard about? Golf cart batteries and deep cycle batteries are good because they can go pretty low in the discharge range, but they have a limit. And if you do that too many times, you can actually build up a memory in the battery. You can sulfite the cells and they go bad. These batteries here can be recycled all the way from 100% to 0 and not lose more than 20% of their total capacity over 6,000 times, some over 10,000 times. Now, I don't know what they're actually advertising on this one as far as cycles. It's usually in the 5,000–6,000 range on most of these batteries. One of the nice features of the Ecoorthy battery is the BMS. So you used to be able to build your own lithium batteries, and people did this a lot. So they would build a battery, they would get the cells, they would have to do a battery leveling. So the cell leveling so that this one cell wasn't overcharged compared to another, and they would have to use a thing called a BMS. Well, this one has a built-in BMS that's going to manage the cells, the cell leveling, and everything about the battery health. The other thing about lithium batteries is the voltages are generally higher. So the resting voltage is higher, the charging voltages are higher, so they've got a little bit better power in them. They also have a low internal resistance, which is going to make things a little more complex when it comes to charging them, because your traditional charger needs to know that it's a lithium battery. Your traditional chargers aren't going to do a great job on this. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the Victron Connect here, and I technically don't have the system charging right now, but we're going to turn the charger on. So I'm going to go ahead and set the charger enabled. I've got it set to charge at 8 amps right now, and so we'll be able to see this thing when it starts charging. It's going to kick on at 8 amps. Check engine shutdown detected. No, we're connected there. I'm just double checking. Our input voltage is 13.1. Engine shutdown detection, I'm not going to use that. Perfect. Okay. Now we should start charging. So now it's charging. It's going to be sending power in. Let's go back to this Ecoorthy battery. What I wanted to show you is as you're charging the battery, it'll actually show the power coming in. I don't see the power coming in just yet. So I want to see. I'm going to plug our charger back in and see if that changes anything. Absorption charge. Okay. So it thinks it's at full right now, so it's not wanting to charge any higher. That's our luck, isn't it, when I go to do this? So it's not pushing any current into the battery, but if we were to draw current from the battery, if we were to plug in an accessory, something that would use a lot of current, not only would we be able to see that on the Victron side, but we'll actually be able to see it here. It'll show the state of charge and the current usage, along with how much time is remaining down here in the bottom graph, which is really cool. Also has the ability to do notifications of any warnings or any issues, and it does have individual cell voltages for the different batteries. So that's another really cool feature that is available in the Ecoorthy. So tons here. So that's the Ecoorthy battery. Now, other advantages of this, to get 280 amp hours, again, out of a lead acid, maybe a golf cart battery, you get those, you're gonna not only have to have more of them, they're also gonna weigh a ton more. So my single 80-ish roughly amp hour deep cycle batteries that I have, the lead acid ones, weigh about 65 pounds each. This battery is heavy. I'm not gonna lie, it's not a light battery. It's awkward to hold, awkward to lift. The smaller batteries, the 100 amp hours, are only about 20 pounds. This entire battery is 62 pounds. So Ecoorthy has a 62 pound battery here. That's enough to match one of my, like I said, 80 amp hour. I can actually more than triple my power capability and have it in the same weight. So it's about 1/3 of the weight of a normal battery. So that's pretty slick. In this case, one of the things I really like about this Ecoorthy, and it's not seen in most of the other 100 amp hour batteries I've shown you on the channel before, is this one has a low temperature cutoff automatically in the BMS. So if it gets too cold, now they're gonna cut off at 19 Fahrenheit. So they're gonna let you charge more into the lower below freezing than I normally have heard is possible. But they say that this thing can be charged and it will cut off at 19 Fahrenheit as far as charging. You can discharge them below freezing, but you shouldn't charge them. So it's got a low temp cutoff. That's really good if you're maybe using this to run your trolling motor, if you've got something like that, or you're using 3 of them. It's real common to get 36 volts for a trolling motor. Make sure that they have low temp cutoff. That's really cool.